Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today and to the channel. We picked up a couple hand planes the other day, and it reminded me that I've had this grooving plane, or ton plane, sorry, that I've had been sitting in the shop for quite a while that I needed to get worked on, and I figured it was a good time to finally pull that out. Now this is a US made plane. Last name on there is Copeland. So looking it up, it looks like it is that print right there, and it shows that it was probably manufactured, or I guess handmade, between 1822 and 1825. You guys can see that, and it's going to be the B style signature, so it's just a rare signature that you can find out there. But that's one of the things I like looking up, is see what I got. I want to get the bigger version of the book that they have with this, and it gives you even more detail, but it's a good place to start. Now this one is an American made plane, so it says American Wooden Planes, and the hand plane haul that I did the other day, it looks like all of these are English made planes, and the way I know that is that one of these says Bristol, England on there. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them says Bristol, England. So those are all English planes. I've looked them up. I can't find any of them in my book. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started on refinishing this one and trying to get this back up into a user condition. So like most things, whenever you have them and you're trying to refinish them, you want to go ahead and break them down first so you can see what you're dealing with. And I think that if I can remember correctly, the reason why I haven't done this one yet is because this plain iron is actually stuck in here fairly well. So we're going to try to Is that going to break the wedge loose at all? Nope. There it comes. There it goes. Alright, so we got the wedge, and it is slightly cracked right here. Then let's see the iron. Iron looks to be in good shape. No markings on it. It's a little bit curved going down this way on this end, but we can get that flattened out if need be. A little bit rusty, but it's still retaining pretty good sharp edge. And then the hand plane itself is in really good condition. The normal dings and dents on the back end, good stamp on the front. And so now what we will end up doing is taking a turpentine mix with some boiled linseed oil that we got in this jar, and we'll go ahead and get the plane cleaned. And the turpentine is what really works its way in there and cleans this up. So you got all them white spots, and we'll just work it back and forth in there, making sure to scrub all over it in the direction of the grain. And this really brightens it up too, from being where it was dark and dingy and had all the oil in it. So let's go ahead and get some paper towels. Having the paper towels right close by is handy because it's easier to wipe it off. You guys can see all the nastiness that's just been sitting on here. And then the boiled linseed oil kind of works into the grain a little bit and gives it a little bit of moisture. You guys can see how bright the handle's coming out to be. So if you like the old patina of it, you might want to go a little bit lighter on your scrubbing. But that side has absolutely no marks in it anymore. So we'll flip over to this side. You guys can see how dirty that one is. And we'll go ahead and start getting that one cleaned up. So you guys can see that the skate right here, or the little side, the metal piece is cleaned up right here, but this is all rusted still. I don't like to take these off anymore. I used to try to take them off, but I've had so many that the screws don't want to go in right or something like that. So I just grab a fresh scrubbing pad and just use that, and it cleans it up really nice. If you have trouble, you can always get a piece of sandpaper, and sandpaper will do the job as well. You just gotta be careful because you don't want to overdo it and ruin any of the metal, where this is a little bit more forgiving. So now I have the side guide completely done, and all the sides are actually all done except for the front and the back. And then we got to work on the inside part where it's going to be cutting the ton for whatever you're using. So let's go ahead. I'm going to finish up that and this end, and then the bottom. So for the wedge, it was really torn up around here where it had been hit a lot with a hammer, and also right here on this side. So I just took some sandpaper and cleaned that up. It does still have that crack right here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now because it's still in a working condition. And if it ends up being a problem, what I'll end up doing is kind of bending it a little bit, putting some glue right there, and then taking like a air hose and just barely blowing it back up in there, and then I'll just clamp this nice and tight. One of the things that I was careful about is not getting too much of the turpentine and oil mixture on this area, because if you get the oil inside that crack really good, the glue will not stick to it and won't adhere, and it won't close up that joint if I do decide to go ahead and eventually close that up. Or I may just end up creating a new wedge for it. I'm not sure at this point. I just want to get this back to the original state, especially since the date is in the 1800s with this one. So now I have the plain body all finished up for getting cleaned. I have the wedge all finished up getting cleaned, and what I'm going to be doing now is stepping over to a wax mixture right here. This is a turpentine, boiled linseed oil, and beeswax mix, and the way I apply this is just with my hands. That's it. Nothing fancy about it. Just rub it on. You don't have to get a bunch on there all at one time. That's probably a little bit too much that I have on it right now. And you just want to pretty much rub it in quick circular motion. To me, it seems like it does the best. And you do not want to do the wedge where it goes actually into the plain body, because then the wedge, I have found, will start to slide out constantly, and then it's a pain in the butt. So you just want to rub the wax all over the place. This is just a little bit of a protection, not much to it. Eventually, after you use it a little while, you'll start getting your oil from your hands on the plane, and that's actually what darkens it up as well. So I'm just getting it everywhere that I can, and then once I am done with that, I'll grab a paper towel. See, paper towels are a must-have in the shop. But now I'll get the paper towel and I'll do the exact same thing. I'll rub it fairly quick in a circular motion. Rubbing it everywhere that you put the wax, and you got wax on your hands, so you're gonna get it all over the place over and over again, but you just want to keep on working it back and forth. And then eventually you have enough wax buildup on your rag that I always go ahead and start putting it right in the groove. And this will help it actually go in on the wood a little bit better. I'm gonna dab a little bit on there anyway. I can see that it's already getting a little bit deeper in there. And all the planes are always going to be different. You're always going to have different profiles that you're working with, so you just got to figure out what the best way is to get where the wax needs to be. And I put a little bit of wax on the side guide just to help keep it from rusting again. Go over it one more time, and then like I said, you can do the plain wedge, but don't get it where it's going to be sliding into the body. So I just use the towel or the paper towel that I got. And that'll help with that. And then once you put it in there, it will actually have that good wedge effect, and it won't be like sliding out as you're trying to plane. I've had that happen plenty of times. So now we're going to be moving on to the iron, and I feel like I've been extremely lucky with this one because there's hardly any rust, no pitting. So I'm going to be able to take the Scotch-Brite pad over it and pretty much just clean this up. And then I'm just going to try to give it a quick honing and see what happens with that, because I mean it's in really good. You guys can see that there's even still shiny metal on the cutting edge. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Scotch-Brite pad and see what happens. Alright guys, so I got it fairly cleaned up with the Scotch-Brite pad. There's a little bit of pitting right here where I said that it was bending, and so there's it's not that bad, but then there's some weird stuff right here. It's almost like a glue residue type of stuff that was on the back of here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the sandpaper real quick and get the backside, make sure it's flattened down all the way, and then we're going to go ahead and try to get probably like 2 or 3 passes on the cutting edge, the bevel, and then maybe give it a honing. So let's see what happens. So I decided to break out the whetstone. I'm going to give it a 1000 and then a 3000 sharpening, and then put it on the honing compound so that we can see what happens. It's coming out. It's got a nice edge already. Backside cleaned up fairly well. So just taking it a little bit step further. Alright, so I got the whetstone right here. We're going to put a little bit more water on it. I've already done the backside, that's why I got to add more water. Keep your arms locked in position while you're doing it. That is looking fantastic. So now we'll switch over to the 3000 grit that's on the back side. This stone I've had for quite a few years. I can't remember the company, Xmassis. Alright guys, so we're going to be taking this first test run. I got the iron all sharpened up, and I think I have it set correctly. So we're going to take it and we're going to see does. It's taking kind of a thick cut right now. There we go. A little bit thinner of cuts now. So there is another shot at the stamp on there. It says D and M Copeland, and then you got the actual owner's initials, JL. So this plane turned out really nice. I'm very happy with it. Cut's really nice. So I need to figure out what's going on with that fence, but it does cut really nice. Cuts with a little bit of an angle, almost like a sash plane or something like that, which is kind of strange because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be making a straight ton. So that's the underside. Thanks guys for watching the video on restoring this hand plane, getting it back into user condition. I love doing this and looking up the history on it. I wish I could find out more history. People who've owned it, people who've used it, where it's been, everything like that. So this was a really cool one, dated back from the 1800s, which is even cooler. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know. And I'm going to be doing some of these English hand planes next. So if you guys are interested in that, say so, and we'll get some of those videos up. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next time.